What's up, Everyday Blades? We have a knife here that I did not know existed. I saw this in the case at, if you're in Houston, you're familiar with Collector's Firearms. It's one of the coolest gun shops on the planet. And they do have a respectable knife section. They even have a little small section of really cool customs. People have sold them or traded for guns or whatever. They carry Spyderco, Microtech, Marfion, CRKT, a handful of brands. And they usually have one brand I've never heard of. And sometimes I find a knife that's interesting, but most of the time I don't. I did find this. I thought this, from a distance, was a Spyderco Police. And I picked it up and looked at it, and I thought, oh, it doesn't have a backlock. It's not a Police. This is a Spyderco Military 2, not a paramilitary 2, and that's what a lot of people think when I say that. This is a military 2. The Spyderco Military is a hoss of a knife, as well as the Military 2. This is in Spy 27, their proprietary steel. It is very similar, if not the same size as the Police, the big one. So I'll give you an example here. I'll put it up next to another hoss from Spyderco. This is the Subvert. It's actually bigger than the Subvert by a little bit. So it's like a blown up Pm2. Or a military with a compression lock. And I think it's really cool. Super light for its size. Of course, it's going to cut like fire because of the geometry of the Spyderco blade. Super thin behind the edge, razor sharp. Spy 27, I'm told, is a great steel. I've never sharpened it, so I don't know. I've had a couple of them, but I didn't get to use them very much. They come and they go like a lot of knives. But I believe it's super steel, and there's no issues with it. I mean, it's good to go. Big old spider hole in there. So if you like big Spydercos, you will like this knife. And it's about the same price as a PM2. I think this was retail $174. I think they give me a 15% off or something like that. So end up being around 150-ish. Not too bad. G10 scales. Blue G10 scales. I guess how Spyderco color codes their color of the scales tells you what the steel is in most cases. And this shade of blue is for Spy 27. They have another shade that is for S110V. And on and on and on. M390. Blah, blah, blah. Each one of them have their own color of scale. And then some of the scales, I don't know if this is coinciding with that, but some of the scales are for their sprint runs. It's for a specific sprint run, but I don't know if it still has that same steel for that color. But anyway, you can generally look at a Spyderco, the color of it, and tell what steel it has. So that's pretty cool. This thing is a fingerprint magnet. Let's look at it up against a couple other knives that you're more familiar with. This is the Rat 1 and the Rat 2. See, it's a beast. It's huge. I've been having a lot of huge knives lately, but I've always liked huge knives. The first knives I collected were almost all Medfords. At one time, I had 30 Medfords. I was obsessed with them. I still like them. I have one today. Medford Marauder H. I'll probably always have one of those. I'm a big fan of that knife. Let's see how much this big old booger weighs. 4.3 ounces. For a knife that big, that's pretty insane. So our blade is 4 inches, and our handle scales are 5.5. That's a pretty big difference. Let's see how good they are at sharpening this Spy 27. Guys, if you're not subscribed, please do us a favor and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a thing. It really helps us out, helps us grow and get out to more people, and more companies send us knives to give away, and it's just better for the community all the way around. 150, very respectable for a production knife. So in conclusion, is this a knife I would carry? Oh, and the clip is tip up, tip down, right or left, just like the PM2. I would probably carry this, maybe working out in the yard or at the lease or whatever. I wouldn't carry this on a day-to-day basis. It's just not my kind of thing. One is because I carry a little bit nicer knives these days. I like my Borkas and my Oz machines and stuff. I'm a little bit spoiled that way. But two, I would rather have it. It's a little bit large for me, and that's kind of crazy for me to say. But for a user knife, if I'm going to carry it for a user, and I'm going to use it on whatever I want, whatever I need, I would want it a little bit smaller. This is kind of oversized for no reason. I mean, I don't need that much cutting edge. It's just not necessary for me. Not doesn't fit the life that I live. Centering's dead on the money. I'll give you a good look at it. Overview. We're gonna have to kind of stretch it out. But if you've seen a PM2, you've seen this thing, because it's just a PM2 blown up. Probably the same thickness and everything. It feels like it. I don't have one handy, but it's just an oversized PM2. Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.